Welcome everyone to our 90 days of real self-care kickoff webinar. So we're excited. We're excited for this challenge. It's not starting yet, but we're kicking it off early to give you some mental time to get revved up and ready after the holidays.
Are any of you guys the type that, like, I remember back in like elementary school and standardized testing, they're like, don't go ahead. And I'm like, whatever, I'm already done with the last page. Like, I'm not waiting. You don't have to wait to start what we're going to talk about tonight.
That's true.
But you can work ahead. But we are excited about this challenge. Many of you joined us for our last 90-day challenge, which ended about the second week in November. And we had a big retreat in Cancun to finish that off. But this one is, we love the content that we're going to give you guys, and we think it's going to be high value for you.
So let's just start off with the title. Okay. 90 days of real self-care. To me, I like words like that, that are like all in caps, and it makes me go, is there fake self-care? And there kind of is, like, honestly, I think that it's common when you think of self-care, you're like, oh, I got to take a bubble bath and like
get a massage and
chocolate cake,
mani-pedis, all that stuff. That's all good stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But what we want to help you do here, the real self-care, it's basically the habits that are going to move you forward in your life that give you that like long lasting joy in your life instead of just the temporary pleasures.
Yeah, we're going to kind of narrowly define what real self-care is. And it's basically this idea of building a life that you don't regularly have to escape from. Right? So a lot of us, when we say, oh, I haven't been taking very good care of myself, it's in an attempt to escape because we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we've got that high anxiety and stuff. We're like, oh, I've gone too far and now it's time to escape.
Yeah.
Well, what if we weren't getting to that point and we were able to build skills, we were able to increase our resilience and our kind of expand our window of tolerance for those things because we're building a life of skills, skill set, mindset, all those things to be able to really care for ourselves every single day.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so real self-care. Let's go. Okay, so let's go over a few logistics. Should we do that first? Okay, so the real self-care kickoff webinar, you're on it right now, you're listening to the playback. Have you downloaded the app? Ask yourself a couple questions. Have you downloaded the app? It looks like this on the right. If you're listening on podcast, you can't see it, but you'll have to go find it. Number two, have you joined the Facebook group? It's called Healthy Together. And it's linked right there in the app. Have you printed your tracker? Okay, that's also linked on the app under the Real Self-Care Challenge. So why don't we take a poll? This would be fun. I just want to poll you guys and see. Just check all that apply. Check all the items that you have accomplished so far. If you've downloaded the app, check that one. If you're in the Facebook group, check that. If you printed the tracker, check that one. I just want to get a feel for everybody on who has done what. Oh, these numbers are getting interesting.
Man, we've got some...
I'm gonna share them with you in just a second. There's about 30 more people who haven't taken the poll. I'm gonna just give them like 5 more seconds. All right. Okay, I think most of the people who are going to vote have voted, so let's go. Okay, I'm going to share the results. Ooh, look, 82% of you have downloaded the app. Proud of you. That's probably why you're on right now, because you might have gotten a reminder text, which does help. Okay, 92% of you have joined the Facebook group. A lot of you probably saw the challenge announced in there, so great job. Okay, 39% of you have printed the tracker. Hey, that's pretty good. That's actually 4 out of 10. Yeah. Like, I'm proud of you guys.
And the challenge isn't officially starting until January 2nd.
Yeah, so we got a whole week and a half. So you guys are awesome.
It's going to take me that long to figure out how to connect my printer to my network.
Oh my gosh, I hate new printers. It's like
it disconnects every single day.
Yeah. Okay, so in the tracker, it looks like this. You're going to print 3 pages. There's one for January, February, and March. The challenge ends on April 1st, April Fool's Day. Who's going to finish the challenge? You're not going to be a fool, right? I pity the fool. I don't know if I can pull that off. I don't know if I can pull that
Pulling
off.
out Mr. T.
I know. All right. So because we want you to know how to use this challenge, let's go over just a quick couple of things here. So first, let's go over a concept called micro habits. So if you are familiar with Dr. A's Habits of Health Transformational System, you've probably learned about this already. But in the Life Book in Element 3, Dr. A talks about micro habits and how to create habits in a way that actually works for people. Because here's what people do. It's January 1st. Actually, it's probably January 2nd because that's a Monday, right? Let's be honest. It's January 2nd and people go, I'm going to go to the gym for like an hour every single day.
Or even 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But they hate the gym. They walk in and it's full for the first 3 weeks of the year and they hate every single second.
Yes. And they go straight from like Netflix, 8 hours a day on the couch to like trying to go to the gym an hour, 4 days a week, right? It doesn't work because guess what happens? Then you're sore by like day 2 and you kind of can push through that. You probably make it through the first week, but after a while, you're just like, this is terrible. Like, this is not fun. I don't want to get up early before work. So anyway, you have not created a habit in a week and a half of doing something you hate, right?
Well, and you look at this word, micro habit. Micro means little, right? Macro is big. So we're going to break these habits. Yeah, you might want to develop some bigger long-term habits, but we're going to start with something so small that you cannot fail because you're capable of doing this small little thing every single day, even if you're having the worst day possible.
So let's give you an example. So the healthy body micro habit, maybe your micro habit that you're going to do every day is you're going to put on your workout shoes. Like, what are the chances, even if you had the flu, that you could put on shoes on your feet? It's pretty high. It's pretty dang high. And if you're not doing it, it's either not small enough, it's not easy enough, or you don't have a cue in place. Maybe you need a reminder on your phone so you set that tiny goal, and the game is get a check mark every single day of the 90 days. Yes, every single day. And for sure, you're gonna forget a day. I know, I forget too, but try not to forget 2 days in a row. Okay. And then like, that's not the real thing that you want to do is just put on shoes, right? So you're going to have a plus goal.
Yeah. And so Amber put here, work out at the gym for 60 minutes.
It's just whatever you want.
Yeah,
like
whatever
as an
you
example.
Want, right? You might not, and I'm going to emphasize this, like particularly with working out, increasing your activity is a habit of longevity.
For sure.
The National Weight Registry, they are the organization that calculates all the statistics for overweight and obesity and healthy weights and stuff across all 50 states. And they did a study a few years ago that showed people who had maintained a healthy weight after losing weight. And the average number of steps for an individual who was overweight or obese was between 4,400 and 5,200 steps per day. After they had maintained it, the average person was over 10,500 steps per day. They more than doubled the number of steps they were taking their day. And that's not necessarily going to the gym. That's parking farther away at the grocery store. That's taking a couple extra laps around the neighborhood or something like that. Find something that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, it is not ever going to be sustainable.
Absolutely. So if you get your goal, whatever your goal is, you're going to share this with your accountability buddy or the coach who invited you. If you do your actual goal, then you get a plus. Okay. So check is the minimum. Plus means you did the actual thing that you're wanting to do. Okay. And let's see. Okay. So healthy finances example, maybe you're just going to open your banking app. You're just going to like get a current reality. But your real goal is maybe depending on your goals here, maybe you're going to make a budget, or you're going to track your expenses, or you're going to save money, or, you know, whatever your actual goal is that you're setting. And then we put check in with your buddy on Friday. You don't have to check in on Friday, guys. It's just on the Friday day every week. Okay. So whenever you check in during that week, you can check in with buddy on Friday. Okay. All right. So I want to bring on one of our awesome coaches to share a little inspiration for you guys before we get into our topic. Corinne, are you ready?
Yes, you guys, I'm so excited about this. It's been interesting because lately I've actually been reminiscing just a little bit, because it was a challenge somewhat like this 9 years ago that I actually came into this program. It was January. I was looking to lose some baby weight and thought, hey, I could do a health challenge. I've never done one of those before. It seemed kind of interesting. And it really just helped me accomplish my goals. So as you can see on the screen, there's a transformation picture here. And that is what happened from that challenge. I was able to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. I had just had my 5th baby and was just working on some of that baby weight, you guys. And ever since then, I have been able to maintain and then also to lose weight after 2 more babies number 6 and 7. And right now I'm working on optimizing my health, and it's so exciting because you guys, our health is never ending. There's always going to be something that we can be working on. So I thought it was interesting, as I've been reflecting back on that 9 years ago, that decision to join the challenge, I had no idea, but it actually changed the trajectory of my life. I had no idea what was coming for me, you guys, and the lives of my family too. And so by the time the second challenge rolled around after that first one, I was not only participating in it myself, but I was actually coaching some of my friends through that process as well. And so 9 years, you guys, I've been doing this for 9 years now, almost 9 years. And that's a really long time. I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, that's almost a decade. That's a really long time. And so I was thinking back to another challenge that was given to us back in Cancun. Some of us coaches went to a coaching retreat there, and they challenged us to meditate every day for 10 minutes using this specific app, right? I'm not one that buys apps usually. So I was like, okay, first I got to buy the app. Okay, I can do that. And then I gotta meditate. And I thought, this is something that I've always kind of wanted to get into, but I've never really gotten into it, nor did I really know how to get into it. So I thought that this was going to be like the perfect opportunity for me. And so I accepted this call to action. I downloaded the app right after I got home. And let me tell you about the last month, you guys. So, well, let me go back just a little bit. We've been dealing with some pretty heavy stuff in our household, and I have been feeling the heaviness, like burdens, like people just throwing rocks into my backpack, right? My shoulders are super tense. I actually got some TMJ because I realized I was clenching my teeth all day long. And I was like white knuckling life because I was just so stressed and so emotional about absolutely everything going on. And I started this app, and I have to admit, it was really hard for me to just sit and breathe because I was not taking deep breaths, you guys. I was living my life short breath to short breath to short breath. And so at first I thought, this is really uncomfortable, but I'm just going to go with it because I committed, I'm going to do this, right? So over the last month, it's been interesting to witness of myself. My jaw is not as tense. I'm starting to breathe just a little bit more throughout my day. I'm starting to become more aware when I am starting to tighten up and when I am starting to kind of white knuckle life, and I'm able to stop and like just take a couple deep breaths, and it's like, okay, Corinne, come back. And it was interesting because as the heaviness of life was coming on, guess what? A couple of pounds came on with it. And it's been interesting over the last month as I've been able to stop and breathe just a little bit more. You guys, a couple of pounds, I just feel so much lighter. I feel happier. I feel like I'm more enjoyable to probably be around. I'm sure everybody in my house has probably witnessed that. I'm not quite as angry as I used to be. But life just has a different outlook on it. And it just makes me so excited for this challenge coming up because it's all about self-care. And that was something that I had realized that, and I didn't realize that I was doing this until probably the last month, that was something that I put by the wayside. And that's why I was white knuckling. And that's why I wasn't taking deep breaths. And that's why I was actually feeling so much more stressed and tight, because I was not taking care of myself. And so it's so amazing, both the negative way and the positive way, what happens with self-care or the lack of self-care. And so I would just love to encourage you guys. You have no idea what is to come. Let's be honest, you don't. I had no idea 9 years ago that I would be here 9 years later, talking right here, loving coaching, loving where I'm at with my health, and excited about the future, because I wasn't that way 9 years ago. So who knows, maybe with this real self-care challenge, this one decision could be the one decision that changes completely the direction of life that you're headed. Who knows? Thanks, Amber.
Awesome, Corinne. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm kind of excited just after hearing Corinne's story, and I'm like, put this challenge together. Okay, so we're going to present a little topic to you guys, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the challenge too. But have you guys ever heard the parable of the talents? Maybe some of you had. And basically, there was, hold on, I'm clicking something. Okay, so a man goes on a journey and entrusts his servants with wealth and possessions in his absence. And to one servant, he gives 5 talents, to another 2, and to the last 1. And a talent is basically like a unit of measurement, like gold or silver. And so the parable goes on to say that 2 of the servants, the one that was given 5 and the one that was handed 2, they invested it in such a way that when the master returned, they handed back double what he had originally given them. The 3rd servant, however, was not so prudent. According to the story, the one who received the 1 talent went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. And when the master eventually did return, the servants who were faithful were praised and entrusted with more wealth. Well done, good and faithful servants, the master said. And he said, you were faithful with a few things, I will put you in charge of many. The servant who was fearful and negligent, however, was swiftly reprimanded, who called him wicked, lazy, and worthless. Ouch.
We're not going to go that far.
Yeah. His talent was taken and given to the one with 10, and he himself was thrown out of his master's presence. Okay, so with this parable, wise stewards make more with what they're given. Unwise stewards do not. So what does becoming a wise steward actually mean for your healthy body, mind, and finances? Because that's what we're focusing on with the 90 days of real self-care. We want you to make a goal in each of these areas. We want you to have a focus. We want you to have an accountability buddy. So we want to teach you a little bit about becoming a wise steward in these areas.
So first of all, you see a line in the middle of the page. And anybody who's been with us for any amount of time, they've heard us talk about above and below the line. Above the line is open and curious, right? And they're in a position of learning, of wanting to learn also. The below the line is closed, right? They need to be right. And so we're showing this from above and below the line. And as below the line, we're talking about money here. On one end of the spectrum, you're a gambler. You're spending like crazy. You're very little responsibility. And on the other end, you're a miser, right? Most people are somewhere in between. And we tend to use this word in between called moderation, right? But moderation, you're just kind of constantly being pulled between one end and the other. Right? You feel like you're in a good spot, like, oh, I'm not spending too much and I'm not being a penny pincher, right? Over restrictive, but you're still on the same continuum. So it's just a matter of time before you get swayed or pulled in one direction.
Yeah. So the gambler has an unhealthy focus on pleasure, just like my parents used to say, your money's burning a hole in your pocket to my little brother. It's like if he got his hands on $1 and it was gone with candy and a toy, right? And so it's the overindulgence versus the over restrictive. But did you know a lot of, like Jared was saying, Some people think it's in the middle. I got to sometimes spend too much, and then I got to go the other side and stop spending it all, and just never. No, there is another way. There's a whole different paradigm. In fact, spoiler alert from Jared earlier. Thanks, Jared. It is the financial steward. And so the above the line version of the gambler is actually the steward spender. So a steward spender invests in assets. They give to charity. They're thoughtful and intentional, and they spend in ways that they live within their means. They live within the income that they have right now. And let's look at the miser. What is the above the line version of the miser? It's basically the steward saver. And the saver, they realize it's okay to not spend money on certain things. Like if you want to save up for a family vacation, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to go out to eat. I'm going to save that money. I'm going to be wise. They're good at budgeting. They're good at savings. They focus on maybe increasing their education. Maybe they go back to school, or they get a certification in something, or they start a business that will help them actually increase their income. It's taking radical responsibility. Yeah.
Have you ever heard, I've heard a lot of financial experts talk about the poor people or poor managers of money. They buy stuff, right? And then there's the medium group of people, and they buy liabilities. It's just bigger stuff. It's cars and houses, and I mean, a house can be an asset also.
Sure.
But then the wealthy people, they buy assets. They buy things that are going to make more money. So being a financial steward, you're still spending money. You're just spending it differently so that it actually produces more resources for you and potentially for other people.
Okay, so let's put this in the frame of your health. Okay, and we're going to do kind of healthy body mind mix here. So a lot of people find themselves on a continuum with health where it's like they bounce back and forth. They're the overeater or they're the dieter. This is the all or nothing mentality. This is the black and white. I'm really good when I'm on a diet, but when I'm not, I just don't even care. Right? So the overeater has an unhealthy relationship with food. And really, it's all about the overindulgence, the temporary pleasure, or you work out to like punish yourself because you ate ABC. So it's not a great mindset, right? So people go from this, they go over to the dieter side. And over here, it's over restrictive. Like you're a victim to your program. Have you ever done this? Oh, I can't eat blah, blah, blah. I'm not allowed. My coach will get mad. The Optavia guide is so mean, right? Or you shame yourself for bad, quote unquote, bad food, or just an unhealthy focus on like weight and body image in general. So there is another way, you guys. Spoiler alert, there is another way. It's the health steward. So you take the overeater and you go above the line. This is fueling your body. You fuel your body with nutrition. You go, my body needs so much nutrition to be able to do the things I love to do, to be able to have energy. I want to work my muscles to get stronger so I could be better at pickleball or volleyball or carrying my grandkids around. I don't have grandkids. Just an example. This person invests in good nutrition. They know that they're worth it. Then the dieter above the line
has vision and a good relationship with food, right? Both healthy food, traditionally seen as healthy food, and unhealthy food. They eat desserts. They have their favorite treats sometimes, but they recognize that some of those things don't bring valuable nutrition on a daily basis, so they only eat them occasionally.
Right. Or if they're doing a certain weight loss phase, they have peace with not including every food in the whole world. Just like when you're saving up money for the family vacation, you're not eating out. Well, when you're working on a weight loss phase, you're not eating chocolate cake. But they have peace with that. It's not making it a bad food.
One of the things I want to point out with this idea of above the line, below the line, being in a dieter mentality or a health steward mentality, is a health steward, they have a very, very clear vision.
Yeah.
They know what they want. And so therefore, when they feel like something, they are not as affected by, oh, I feel like having a piece of cake or a donut or whatever it is, or I feel like you're walking through the mall and I feel like I have to have this new item of clothing, right? No, I know what my end goal is. I know the bigger plan that I'm trying to create, and therefore I'm not as affected by the feel likes.
Absolutely. So why did we choose meditation? You'll notice on your tracker that we're suggesting 10 minutes of meditation a day for the plus, and the check is just like do some deep breaths. So why do we do that? We're challenging you to use a meditation app. So we like Waking Up app. We like Calm app.
Headspace.
Yeah.
There's dozens of them.
You know what? You could even, they all have free trials. Do a free trial like every time that you can do a free trial and try them all out. See what you like. But there's benefits of meditation. Did you know? The more you know, you guys, fat literally leaves your body through your breath. What's the percentage?
85% of fat leaves your body through breath. 15% leave your body through sweat and waste. 85%, your fat is oxidized and it is released as carbon dioxide.
Absolutely. And you probably guessed these other ones. Stress reduction. It strengthens your willpower. Do you know that when you meditate daily, you're actually doing like curls for your prefrontal cortex? If you find yourself like every day at 4 o'clock, you're just too tired and you no longer make healthy decisions, you might need to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. Also just to find like your centered, non-triggered state. Like Corinne was talking about that. Like, I feel like I'm not at my centered place right now. You're going to know what that feels like when you're meditating.
What if I'm bad at meditation? We've both been there, right?
I hear this from so many people. Oh, Amber, I've tried that. I'm bad at it.
This is because people have been fed the idea that meditation is like sitting on a pile of stones or something like that and closing your eyes and being like in the lotus position, and you have to be at total peace. Like
you have to clear your mind and have no
like
thoughts.
You're this guru. Meditation is a place where you go and just observe your thoughts.
Yeah.
And one of the centering pieces of meditation is often breath, because it's something that is within our control. And so we just notice the breath. We notice what it's doing to our body. And then we start to recognize the different thoughts and emotions that are coming up, so that we can just recognize them and we can see that they are just thoughts.
You know what makes you good at meditation? That you did it. I just, even if it's like time to go to sleep and I haven't done it yet, I just like listen to it, like laying on my pillow, and I kind of fall asleep and it's good. Look at me. I'm good. I'm good at it. All right. We're going to bring our friend Laura on and to share a little bit about her story. And I forgot to tell you this, our webinar is going 40 minutes tonight. Go ahead, Laura, take yourself off mute.
Thank you, Amber. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Amber, can you hear me?
You're good to go. Yes.
Yes, you're good, Laura.
Okay, great. In 2014, my life was turned upside down when my then 10-year-old daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I found myself getting a crash course in nutrition and all things blood sugar and insulin related, and how to simply keep her alive and well. I found I put her needs and emotions, as well as everyone else's, above my own, because isn't that what a good mom does? Or so I thought. I can't tell you how many self-help books I reached for, junk food to buffer my emotions with, or diets I tried, trying to figure out a way to be happy with my life. Only nothing was very successful in accomplishing that. Looking back, I was definitely stuck in drama. I found Optavia in December 2020. Early on, I knew this program was a gift, not only because it helped me with achieving a healthy body, using the 5-in-1 plan and eventually losing 30 pounds, but because I started learning how to love myself and start making me a priority as I worked on my healthy mind. On my 1-week celebration call, Amber extended the invitation to look into coaching. I was very hesitant with limiting beliefs like, I don't know enough, and that's not something I can do. But 4 months later, after watching the successes I was having and how much happier I was, that same daughter asked me if she could do the program too. I knew this program would work for her, and I wanted to help her achieve her goals. And frankly, having 3 of us on plan, my husband included, we could use the added income. So after a lot of praying, I called my coach, Laura, who I am forever grateful for, and told her I wanted to coach, and I wanted to share this gift with everyone. I shifted my thoughts and found that I did know enough. I can do it. And coaching is something that I didn't know I needed in my life. Coaching has helped me to continue working on my own health. The accountability, the trainings, the challenges that help keep me focused, the events where we grow and have breakthroughs, the community which I love and came as a much needed time as we had just moved across the country, and where I have made some amazing new friends. I have found a confidence in myself like never before. Coaching has also kept me more engaged in mindset work, and I love that I can work from anywhere and at any time and be present for my family too. Personal development I continue to receive as a coach is way better than any self-help book I've read. Coaching also comes with the gift of healthy finances. Since having kids, it had been 20 plus years since I have brought in a paycheck, and it feels really good that I can now contribute to our family in that way. I have been able to pay for my own travel expenses this year for our team retreat in Utah, convention in Atlanta, and the leadership conference in Cancun with some of the income I have received through coaching. What a blessing it has been for me to link arms with others as we work towards our dreams together. I absolutely love being a coach. Thank you, Amber, for asking me to share tonight. And thank you, Optavia.
Awesome, Laura. Oh my goodness. We appreciate your story so much. And I agree. It's being part of the community, like at a higher level, reaching your hand out to others. I mean, that's being a real steward of a gift that you're given. You're given this gift of an amazing program, community. How are we a steward of that? So you might be wondering, like, who are the coaches running the challenge? So we have our Healthy Together group and our Optavia certified coaches running this. And we want you to know a little bit about our program and what we offer, because most people doing the challenge are doing our Optavia program. And if you're not, that's okay. You can do any program that you'd like. But we wanted to give you a little info so you know. Because here's the thing. Do you ever feel like the gurus of the health world, they have like really high expectations? It's like, you have to know how to eat intuitively and know all calorie amounts and meal prep and exercise like 4 hours a day and handle all your emotional issues on your own. Like, seriously, I don't know that anybody could be healthy with all of those rules.
Well, it's so funny to me that they talk about these things. For instance, calorie amounts, right? And people will say, oh, well, I'm tracking them pretty closely. National Institute of Health did a study where they fed people a meal. They went in and dished up their own food and stuff. And then after they ate, they would estimate how many calories they just ate.
They were wrong.
They were wrong. People at a healthy weight underestimated their calories by a little more than 200 calories.
So they ate more than they 200 calories more than
200,
they thought.
a little over 200 calories more than they thought. People who are obese underestimated by 750 calories.
On average.
On average.
Crazy.
Right? So we have a huge problem with, unless you're tracking every little thing and you know the exact calorie amount for every little thing, you're going to be off.
Yeah.
Our estimating skills are not that high.
I don't know. My estimating skills are actually really good.
Yeah,
If
when
you
you're
have a
talking about like
party,
Skittles in a
I
jar.
like count the Skittles in the jar. I always win that stuff. Okay, but here's the good news. You don't need to be a guru to learn how to be healthy. Our program just like breaks it down so simple. And people just plug in. They just plug into a turnkey program. There's no counting calories, good news, or macros. Have you guys ever tried to do that? I last like 3 days and then I'm just like, I forget. I don't want to. And we have, everyone gets a coach and a personal development system in a community. And here's the thing, we have fuelings. Remember when we talked about the micro habit? Like if you want to do something every day, it has to be so simple and easy that you could do it on any day, on just your busiest, craziest, whatever had just happened. Okay, that's what fuelings do.
Fuelings are nutritional technology.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody on here that's using a washboard to do your laundry. If you are, I welcome you into the next century.
Corinne and her like 7 kids,
Right.
and she's like washing. You'd burn a lot of calories. So fuelings also reduce decision fatigue, because have you ever been like, oh, I just can't make another decision. I don't know what to eat. And I just have to go and I'm in my car, whatever it is. Fuelings, I love what Jen just said in the chat.
Proof.
They're goof proof. Yep. And you just plug in with this program and you create healthy habits. It's pretty cool. This was my before and after with our last 90-day challenge. Similar to Corinne, I started meditating. I meditated every day. I think I missed 3 days of the 90. They weren't 3 days in a row though.
And she actually kind of still did it because it was like midnight and she's like, oh no, it's midnight. So my app doesn't think that I meditated yesterday.
That's true. That's true. One of them was that. But yeah, I actually dropped 9 pounds, you guys. I dropped 9 pounds. I did not change my eating or my exercise. I eat well. Don't get me wrong. I eat well and I exercise. So don't make up a story in your head that I didn't do that. But adding that meditation, like I just like let go of, I think, years of just some junk. It was amazing. So we want to encourage you, become a steward of this health program. If you are loving this, maybe you haven't tried it yet. We want you to try it. Okay. We want you to dive in, give it a go, become part of the community that's changing the trajectory of health in America. Okay. Diets don't work. That's below the line, you guys. It doesn't work. Like it's like white knuckling, it's short term. Okay. We want to bring you above the line if you want to come, if you so choose, and join our community, link arms with other people. Did you know that if you're helping somebody as a coach, you're 500% more likely to reach and maintain a healthy weight long-term? They did a study on it. Is actually, we say 500%, but it was Megan Embring. She's like a nurse practitioner on our team. She goes, I read that study and it was 592%. So it's almost 600. And I was like, oh, okay. The personal and professional development, just what Laura was talking about. Seriously. And improve your healthy finance situation. Become a steward of your healthy finances. You know what? Sometimes you got to make more money in order for your budget to work. So what's holding you back from fully diving into Optavia? If you're just here to do the challenge and not do Optavia, totally fine, you guys. If you want to do the challenge, but you don't want to meditate, cool. If you just want to set one goal where you're just going to walk, awesome. We're glad that you're here. But if you really want to make a change, a long-lasting change, I invite you to really just fully dive in to Optavia. It's changed our lives. We've been coaches for almost 14 years, and our life is just a complete 180 turn from where it was before. And before we joined Optavia, we were broke, we were stressed out, we were not making ends meet in many ways. And I'll tell you what, we had ego problems. We thought we knew everything. What does this program have to teach us? Because my mom introduced us. You guys have like a mom. So you probably know. Like,
you can never let your mom be right.
You can't. I know, it was hard. But when we finally did dive in, we were like, dang it, mom was right. This program is amazing. Okay, we're wrapping up our challenge here. Oh, look, 39 minutes. We just want to leave you with an events calendar. So our challenge dates, January 2nd to April 1st. Okay. Ends on April Fool's Day. Every Monday night, we're going to have an Optimal Health Community Zoom where the greater Optavia community, they're going to present on all these different topics that we were talking about in the life book, like the micro habits and element 3. They're going to be presenting things like this and inspirational stories and personal development. We're going to let everybody plug into that for free with our challenge for the next few months. And we're going to throw in some extra bonus webinars here and there. But here's the thing, you guys. Okay, there's going to be someone, like at least one of you, who's going to be like, Amber, I'm overwhelmed by all these webinars. You know what? This is just like a buffet. These are opportunities. If you can't plug into a webinar that week, cool.
You don't have to eat everything at the buffet.
No, it's okay, guys. Anything that you can plug into, it's going to bring value to your life. I promise you that. But if you're having a crazy week, a crazy month, just skip it. Check in with your accountability buddy though, and tell them like, this is what I'm doing this week. But you know what? The more you can plug into, the more value that you're going to receive.
But I'm going to throw in a little bonus thing here. That's what real self-care is about. If you're overwhelmed in your life right now, you might be a little overscheduled, right? You might need to add something to your life and subtract something from your life to make your life better.
Yeah. Okay. True story. All right, you guys. Okay. We've loved having you on the webinar. We hope that we have brought you some value tonight. Invite a buddy or 10. Who else in your life could really use some real self-care in the next few months? Probably everybody. This isn't about weight loss. If someone doesn't need to lose weight, you don't have to lose weight. I don't need to lose any weight. I'm not planning on it. Okay. It's about real self-care. Have a great night, you guys.